I don't know whose idea this was. Well, I guess I do. Triple H, he's the guy in charge. The buck stops with him.
Ultimately, yeah.
And we're not there. We don't know. This feels like a go out there and see if Tiffany can sink or swim with Charlotte being Charlotte. Because you got Tiffany Stratton on one hand, who knows her lines.
Yeah.
Kinda. She has to pause in between every single one, fix her hair, walk away, and then come back and say the next line. She stumbles through some of them. And then you got Charlotte stepping all over her.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody's selling for anybody.
No.
And the whole thing is awkward as hell.
It is.
I don't know what reaction or what they wanted out of the Charlotte Flair character when she came back. They presented her as, this yacht riding rich person, basically. I'm the queen, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Not exactly babyface stuff.
No.
And then they had Tiffany as a bad guy, which she was good at.
Mm-hmm.
And she's good in the ring, but she's not a very go with the flow person. I imagine most of the people coming out of the Performance Center aren't really go with the flow people because you need a lot of experience.
In terms of improvising out there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
This is not a good fit.
Mm-mm.
Seemingly, Charlotte didn't want to be there. Or she's being sent out there to do something that, I don't know. I don't know what the deal is.
Well,
but nobody's selling for anybody.
No. Let's go back to their split screen interview, was it a week or two ago? That wasn't good either.
No. So why double down on it with them?
And it was a situation where Charlotte kind of dominated the conversation.
Mm-hmm.
And going into this felt like, and how it was kind of, going about, felt like Tiffany's opportunity to respond.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know what direction was given to either of them. I don't know if the crowd, because they were booing Charlotte heavily.
They were, yeah.
Kind of messed up the rhythm of what they were trying to do. I don't know, but this was awkward. It seemed like every time Tiffany had like a line that she was supposed to deliver, like Charlotte felt like she had to respond, and it often was stepping on Tiffany's lines. Mm-hmm. It felt like Tiffany was like, all right, I got to get my lines right.
Yeah, honestly, this felt like, that's not a good analogy. The entire thing was awkward. And when you have one person who's simply trying to remember what they're supposed to say, and the other person seemingly is going completely off script. And on top of that, they're bringing up shit that, I'm sorry, takes me the fuck out of the promo. Yeah. When you start talking about her personal life, when you start talking about her letting out some very real emotions on like a talk show segment. Because I saw this on Instagram. I saw a clip of it where she was talking about how hard it is to go through all the personal stuff she's gone through, both professionally and in her personal life with her divorce. Mm-hmm. And then like the good guy in this situation belittles that.
Yeah.
Like,
it's not good. It's not good.
I'm sorry. I understand Charlotte is presented a certain way, but like we all know she's a real human being. If you want to take the character of Charlotte Flair and present her a certain way, then like you got to separate the vulnerable person, the real person behind the character, and what they did in a public way, talking about their personal life, opening up.
Yeah.
You got to separate that from the character we see on screen.
Yeah.
I mean, if there was any time we probably could have used a more good guy, bad guy thing. And look, this is, I'm never going to be hired by WWE to be a writer, but I'm throwing out one of these old cheesy Vince segments. It's Charlotte's birthday today.
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow. What if today she had a big, arrogant birthday celebration that was ruined by Tiffany Stratton, right? Now, you and I probably be sitting here talking shit about it, but it wouldn't make me feel awkward as fuck watching
this was super awkward.
Whoever the shit thought this was a good idea should not be in this position to make these decisions, because this was fucking crap.
It was.
You got one person can barely remember lines, another person intent on like no selling everything and stepping on it. And then you got them talking about like hella personal stuff. Nobody's landing any lines that actually work. Tiffany had some good lines and Charlotte steps over them. And then she tries a line and Tiffany no sells it.
Yeah.
It's
I guess from Tiffany's perspective, if she didn't have a lot of experience in terms of improvising, and she has her script, she's expected to stick to the script. Then if Charlotte's like throwing stuff at her, because so much of improvising and developing that skill is repetition, is doing it and doing it and doing it and doing it and doing it,
To
you
establish comfortability. Yeah.
Yeah, so you're comfortable in that situation. Well, if she's not comfortable in that situation, like what she has to fall back onto is, all right, what's my next line? And there was a part 2/3 of the way through it where she was trying to get her next line out, but Charlotte kept talking over.
I know.
And it's like there was no chemistry. There was no rhythm to it.
I know.
It didn't feel like a conversation. It felt like the verbal equivalent of Hogan Warrior at Halloween Havoc.
Yeah, I know. That's yeah.
Honestly, it's like there are two conversations that are not related.
It feels like shit. I'm gonna catch heat for this one. Sometimes what they do in AEW, where they don't really script things, they expect people to go out there and sell for each other. And it honestly has not happened a lot recently. The biggest one is probably Ricky Starks and Edge. Mm-hmm. When it's like, okay, you guys aren't even selling for each other right now. I mean, there was the Hangman Punk one, obviously, that derailed Punk's entire AEW existence. But it's such a bummer to me. And I don't know, you can blame Charlotte, you can blame Tiffany, you can blame the producer. Ultimately, it lays at the feet of Triple H. This was a failure of a segment. This was
and here's the thing. This is a failure of a segment that is part of a story that has been not good from day one.
Yeah.
And the hope would be, all right, they recognize that this ain't working.
Yeah.
All right, let's find a thing that maximizes and showcases the strength of both of our performers in this instance.
It felt like, I always suspected, and you can go back and you can find some evidence to support this, because you and I have talked about this over the years. Sometimes I feel like Triple H, both when he was involved in stuff and as a creative person, has kind of a sink or swim thing. Remember the one thing that always stood out to us at WrestleMania 32?
Yeah.
Was he supposed to be the bad guy, Roman, the authority guy?
Triple H is out there crotch chopping.
He's out there doing a bunch of babyface stuff, trying to curry favor with the crowd. I feel like it was to force Roman to step up.
Could be.
They use Cena for that. Mm-hmm. I mean, again, the most
like
popular
Baron Corbin.
one
Yeah, Baron Corbin.
is Baron Corbin 1,000%, but also Roman Reigns. Mm-hmm. That horrible 2017. That was awkward as hell. But Cena wasn't stepping on Roman.
No.
Roman was just lost.
Yeah.
And Cena was cooking the shit out. And Roman had nothing to come back with. And he was forgetting his lines. That's why it kind of reminded me of that. But Charlotte was just shooting her in the feet. And it's like, man, you're the veteran in this situation. Yeah. And maybe the fact that they were going, I don't know, man. I'm not there. I don't know what people are thinking. I don't know what people are feeling. But this was a gnarly segment.
It really was. Whether it's a situation, again, we're not there. We don't know people's feelings or sentiments about the creative they're involved in. But it's got to be disheartening when you're involved in something and you realize this ain't working. Mm-hmm. It's not an excuse for compounding the issue, which I doubt Charlotte was trying to do. And I don't know if she was trying to get Tiffany to step up, if she was trying to throw some spontaneity into it. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, Charlotte is known for, just two off the top of my head. You know, her and Nia shooting on each other in the ring. Her
Yeah.
and Becky in that title swap situation thing.
Yeah.
You know, Charlotte is such a phenomenal performer, and maybe it stands out because I don't know of any other women who have ever done that. And dudes, plenty of them have done it.
Oh yeah.
And it's sort of a, you know, Ronda Rousey has talked about how Charlotte, you know, flipped the script on her match with Rhea Ripley and went longer than they were supposed to go. And that's a positive use
Yes.
of that stroke.
Yes.
This might have been a negative use
Yeah.
of that particular stroke.
Because this is a story again that's been getting some criticism. This segment is not going to alleviate any of that. If anything, it's going to amplify it.
Honestly, dude, I feel like Tiffany probably needed somebody else to feud with over the title, and give Charlotte, Io, Bianca away from the title. Somebody else, somebody that like she's excited to work with. Dude, how many times have dudes been like, I don't want to work with this guy, I want to work with this guy?
Yeah.
And they get it.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I don't know what's going on back there. But this was not a good look for anybody.
No.
And they need to, you know what? From here on out, just do some video packages. How about that? Just do
The
some
one
video
week
packages.
it worked is where they had that pull apart and Tiffany did
do
the
two
moonsault
more of
off the
those.
Tron. Yeah. Yeah. No, do one more of that and then do a video package.
Yeah, because they just need to get this match done. Who do you think wins this match? It's closer to a toss-up now, isn't it, than we originally thought?
When it was booked, I was like, oh, they're going to have this match. Tiffany's going to win. They're really going to start putting her over as champion. If this is supposed to be a sink or swim situation for Tiffany, I don't know at this point then.
It could also be, because Triple H, I feel, is kind of a stick-to-his-guns guy. I kind of feel like she'll get through it. She'll probably win the match. Maybe that's one reason why Charlotte ain't complying. I don't know. I don't know. You know, I hate to, you know, I just saw her today crying about her personal life. And that's difficult stuff. It really is.
It really
you
is.
know?
Yeah.
Get the Friendo Club set up today and get access to over 700 Going In Raw bonus episodes, our monthly Big Blue predictions challenges, and the ability to ask questions at Going In Raw. We also offer the Steven Larson comic book and exclusive Friendo Club t-shirt. Just hit join here at youtube.com/Steven Larson or go to patreon.com/Steven Larson to sign up.